So welcome back. Now in today's episode, it's all about how to be your own boss and make good money. Well, I know you're interested in that, but I'm going to tell you right away, this is not going to be easy. Now, I'm a positive-minded person, and I expect success at what I'm doing and what I'm planning. But I'm not going to sugarcoat this process because this is going to be some work, and it's not going to be easy. So before I get deep into the success of entrepreneurship and also into freelancing, I want to talk to you about working from home part-time. I'd like to give you a few thoughts to think about because this is where America's headed. People want to work from home and they want to work from a home office. So you want to avoid mistakes and failures. I get that. So there are a number of things that are major success-killing mistakes. To start out with them, one of them is going to be funding, and I'll talk about that. But the most important one is you're going to have to learn how to focus, and you're going to have to learn to concentrate, and you're going to have to really be determined. So as I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat entrepreneurship or the freelancing. Now, according to the Small Business Administration, which is really an offshoot of the United States federal government, 80% of all businesses will fail in the first 5 years. And the 20% that survive, 80% of those businesses will fail in the subsequent 5 years. So if you do the math, that's a 96% failure rate. Now, if you want to find out how to avoid failure, well, go to those sites and they'll tell you the things that you have to do. They have to do with marketing, money management, and things like that. All right, so I'm going to talk about those things, and I'm going to talk about, I know how excited you are to start this business, but it's not going to be exactly easy. And a lot of people, well, they watch late night television or they're on the internet. Everybody says, oh, you'll be successful in 120 days and whatever. Folks, I'm going to tell you, there's got a lot of details that they're missing when they tell you that kind of thing. I'll be right back and tell you more about that. Okay, so what's this episode all about? How to be your own boss and make some good money. To start with, you must avoid businesses that's winner take all. Now, what does that mean? Well, that's businesses like Apple, Amazon, and things like that. That means a small percentage make all the money, and the rest of the people spent their whole life working and working and working. But the big guy collects all the money. Multi-level is the same kind of thing. Little guys make little money. The guy on the top makes a lot of money. All right, so those things are basically like monopolies, and everyone goes home with a little less money and very tired. But the people that own those businesses make a lot of money. So you want to avoid those kind of businesses. Now, that doesn't mean for even a second that I'm telling you to avoid business. There's a lot of business that if you'll learn how to, number one, make the business so you're helping other people, and number two, make a product or a service that people will buy, I tell you, you're going to do well in business. All right, now book publishing is a real problem. Why is that a big problem? Well, first of all, some authors, they're famous, so they sell millions and millions of books and they make millions and millions of dollars. But 90% of the people, they sell a few hundred books and they don't make any money. And that's what happens with the tech business. Okay, the tech business makes all the money at the top and the little guy doesn't do so well. So Amazon dominates that and takes the lion's share of the business. So you don't want to try to even think about competing with those businesses. You want to be able to control your destiny and control the commerce that you're doing. So no matter how skilled you are financially, well, you can't compete with those people. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're skilled financially or you have financial backing. You're not going to be able to compete with Amazon or Apple or the big four, that's for sure. All right, now, I know you've all heard about someone getting rich because they developed a new product. Well, absolutely. And what did they do? They developed a business that they controlled from start to finish. And you're going to be able to do the same thing. And I know you're very excited. You want to make a lot of money. I know you want to be independent. I know you want to work from home. And for sure, you want to have good income without a boss. And you want to make sure that you're making good money. All right, so you're not going to hear about the 10,000 or 20,000 people that work and work hard and don't make any money because the big guys are going to take all their money. So you need to develop a business that has a problem-solving product and a problem-solving service. You've got to have one of those or both of those things if you're going to be successful in business. All right, so what am I saying? I'm saying Everybody sugarcoats the winners. I'm here to tell you everybody isn't going to be a winner. The Small Business Administration said 96% are going to fail. So don't follow what everybody else is doing and start following what you know yourself is a problem-solving product and a problem-solving service, okay? So I'm discussing you're going to be your own boss and be able to make good money, and that's what you want. Now, does that mean you can't make it big? You can make it big, but you're going to have to respond to the market without copycatting everybody else. Think about your own problem-solving product and your own problem-solving service. Now, I didn't say it was going to be easy. It's not going to be. But I'll give you some examples, and I'll show you a business that I've been involved in for over 30 years, and it sure makes plenty of money. And if you want to make a seven-figure income, you can do that. If you want to make $25,000 or $50,000 on one deal, you can do that. And I'll show you how to do that before we finish. So my name is Ted Thomas, and for the last 30 years, I've been involved as an entrepreneur in a home-based business, and I discovered a little-known business. Although it's highly lucrative, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, there's nothing glamorous about it. So I discovered a part of the business world that was a subset of real estate. All right, now you already know real estate is homes. It could be residential lots that are buildable. It could be small farms. It could be small apartment properties, but it's mostly homes. It involves a lot of real estate agents and things like that. All right, that's traditional business. But there's another part of the real estate business. There's many other parts of it, as a matter of fact. But there's another part of it that is involved with properties that are in default. Now, how do they get in default? Well, many have sickness in the family. Sometimes people die, whatever. They don't pay the taxes. Now, what do I mean by many? Well, there's probably 3 million, 2.5 to 3 million tax defaulted properties every year. And they're in all 3,000 plus counties across the United States. Now, I was blind to this business for 30 years, but when I finally woke up and realized that I could buy in the tax, lien, and deed business, and I could get properties for pennies on the dollar, believe me, I was not only shocked and delighted, but I started my investigation. And I'm going to pass on some of that to you today. Okay, now I understand how this works, and I'm going to try to give you an overview of how it works. But basically what happens is the local government must charge property tax to pay for all the county services. What do I mean by that? They have to pay the sheriff. They have to pay the police department. They have to pay the school teachers. They have to pay the firefighters. You're getting the idea. All those people have to be paid. All right, and the county employees. Where does the money come from? It comes from property tax. So if people haven't paid their property tax, guess what? The government has to go collect it. If they can't collect it, the tax collector levies it, can't collect it, then the government's going to confiscate that property. Now, what does that mean? That simply means the Board of Supervisors or the county commissioners are going to mandate that the treasurer levy the tax, collect the tax. If they can't collect the tax, they're going to confiscate the property, and then they're going to resell it at auction. Now, when they resell those properties at auction, they don't want the property, so they discount those properties 60%, 70%, 80%. Now, imagine an 80% discount. That means you could buy for 10, 20, 30 cents on the dollar, and the treasurer has already canceled the mortgage or the deed of trust loan on the property. So my point is, the treasurer is setting it up so they can sell the property quickly with a 60, 70, 80% discount, and guess who could be buying that property? You could, and this is happening in all 3,000 counties across the United States. So the treasurer is going to be happy to collect the back taxes. So they're going to start the bid at the back taxes. Now, will all properties sell right at the back taxes? No, absolutely not. Some of those properties will be bid up because there's other savvy investors. Auction allows you to end up with a treasurer's deed. That means you can go out and resell that property. So if you bought it for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar, you can sell it for whatever price the market will bear. So in this episode, what I'm discussing is how to be your own boss and make good money. Well, why not think about buying some of these used and abused properties? Now, I didn't say buy junk, but some of these properties just need cleanup and they can be resold. Now, if you could buy for 10, 20, 30 cents on the dollar and then sell for substantially more than that, you would have a business that was making $10,000, $20,000, even $30,000 on one deal. Now, I teach my clients, let's work on making $25,000 to $50,000 on one deal. Now, these properties are available in all 3,000 counties across the United States. Again, I don't want you to buy junk. You want to buy used and abused. You might have to clean them up, but so what? So the large population counties are going to have plenty of properties to sell. The small population county are just going to have hundreds. So let's say you find a property on the list for sale at the guy. It has a value of $50,000. All right, they're going to start that bidding at 10 or 20 cents on the dollar. So let's say you get it for 20 cents on the dollar. Well, 50,000, 20 cents on the dollar means you paid 10,000. All right, you don't have to sell it for 10,000. Why don't you sell it for half of that? Do like Costco and Walmart. What do? They cut the price down to sell quickly. So what if you could sell it for 25,000? Well, that's going to give you a nice profit of $15,000. Now, how would you sell it? Well, you could put it on Craigslist. You could put it on eBay. You could put it on Truly. You could put it on Zillow. You could put it on multiple listings. My point is, you can sell that property anywhere you want it across the United States. So let's review that. The property was worth $50,000 according to the assessor, but the tax collector is going to sell it for $5,000. So you pay 10. All right, now you've got all the room between 10,000 and 50,000. Go ahead and sell it for 25 and make a quick $15,000. Where are you going to make money like that? That's good money, and you can make it quickly. My name is Ted Thomas. I'll see you on the next video.